The Governance of Basic Education Act of 2001, also known as Republic Act 9155, mandates that the Department of Education enact policies and mechanisms through which the delivery of quality basic education may be continuously improved. Put focus on these research initiatives. Department Order No. 39, Series of 2016 promulgated the Basic Education Research Agenda, which makes known the research priorities of the department across 4 themes, namely, the teaching and learning, the child protection, the human resource development, and governance, in the 3 cross-cutting themes, namely, the gender and development, the disaster risk reduction and management, and the inclusive education. For clarity and consistency, the following frequently used terms and phrases will be construed as follows. First is action research. It is a process of systematic, reflective inquiry to improve educational practices or resolve problems in any operating unit. Examples are school, classroom, and office. Second is culture of research. It is the regular exercise of systematic inquiry to improve program and policy development and implementation. Third is education research. It is the scientific field of study that examines education and learning processes and the human attributes, interactions, organization, and institutions that shape educational outcomes. Fourth is lead proponent. This refers to an individual who will directly coordinate with the Secretariat on administrative and financial matters of the approved research. Fifth is proponents. This refers to an individual or group that submitted a proposal for a research grant. Sixth is research proposal. It is a document which provides the details of a proposed study. Examples are research purpose and methodology, estimated cost, and work plan. All teaching and non-teaching personnel may submit their action research proposal, which contains the minimum requirements of an action research proposal, namely, context and rationale, action research questions, proposed innovation, intervention, and strategy, action research methods, which includes the participants and or other sources of data and information, data gathering methods, and data analysis plan. The next parts are action research work plan and timelines, cost estimates, plans for dissemination and utilization, and references. The first part of the action research proposal is the context and rationale. In writing this part, let us remember the following suggestions. First, describe the area or focus of your study. Point out why the topic is important and how the action research will answer the problem or issue. Second, you may also mention any data or current research in the area of your topic and highlight the gap that you plan to address in the action research. Third, it is also here that you cite any theory, related studies, Department of Education policies, or laws that would strengthen your claims about the intervention or treatment that you plan to implement. For this reason, you need to search the literature or discuss with your colleagues about strategies previously used to solve the problem. Fourth, include a brief explanation of your purpose for doing the study. Fifth, include the activities you are considering to perform and the desired outcomes. Sixth, remember to keep your statements simple, brief, and direct to the point. The next part of the action research proposal is the action research questions. Remember the following pointers. First, begin by referring to your reflection and the purpose of your proposed action research. It will also help if you review your related literature and studies. Second, state your primary research question. Make sure that this is aligned with your purpose and what you want to find out in your proposed study. Third, the research question should include the intervention you will use and the outcome you desire. Fourth, you may state, at most, 3 secondary questions. Fifth, the research question should be clearly related to the identified problem or issue and convey the desired change or improvement. Sixth, primary research question and any secondary questions have to be arranged logically. Next part of the action research proposal is about the innovation, intervention, or strategy. This part presents the treatment that you are proposing to implement as solution to the classroom problem. When writing this part, the following are suggested. First, you should be able to explain in detail the intervention you will use in your study. Second, include the objective of the intervention, the extent to which it will be implemented, and any limitations that you foresee. Third, you must also describe how likely the innovation, intervention, or strategy will address the problem or issue that you want to focus on. Fourth, when describing the intervention, always keep in mind that a colleague could also use your plan in his or her own setting. Fifth, if you are conducting the study in collaboration with others, identify your co-researchers and describe the ways in which they will be contributing to the proposed action research. Explain each collaborator's role and how work will be shared in the group. Identifying the action research methods. This part of the action research proposal should include the following aspects and/or procedures: research design, sample or participants or sources of data and information, data collection methods, data analysis techniques. Be guided by the following in writing this section of the proposal. First, the proposal should include an explanation of why the research design is suited to the nature and purpose of the action research. Second, details about the participants of the study should be provided. A clear explanation or justification for their inclusion in the study should be given. Third, the data collection methods should be aligned with a research question. Fourth, the research instruments should be shown to be appropriate for obtaining the desired data or information. Fifth, the selected techniques for data analysis should be suitable to the nature of the data or information to be gathered and should yield results that address the research question. The following are the important considerations in preparing the work plan and timeline. First, a detailed work plan should be presented together with activities from the start of the proposed action research to its completion. Second, the timeline should be realistic and should concretely show how the action research will unfold over the period allowed for the study. Third, the overall plan should reflect the proponent's capacity to put into concrete sequential steps the concepts or ideas for pursuing the study. Fourth, a Gantt chart or a timetable may be used to present the work plan. In conducting an action research, it is important to plan and project the activities in relation to the target dates. The researcher may use Gantt charts or timetables. These are valuable tools that will serve as a guide showing specific dates or time and activities that are to be done by the researcher. It helps coordinate all activities from the beginning to the end of the action research. It is difficult to track the progress of the research activity without a specific plan. A busy researcher has the tendency to forget the dates and planned activities. When preparing the cost estimates, the researcher should be reminded of the following points. First, write a detailed breakdown of expense items with their corresponding costs. The items and costs should reasonably reflect the funding needs of the action research and adhere to the Basic Education Research Fund guidelines, especially if you wish to avail of this assistance. Second, the specific expenses should support the overall plan of the proposed action research. Third, the following items of expenditures should be considered. These are supplies and materials such as bond paper, pens, printer ink, and stapler. You should consider also the communication expenses such as postage stamp, courier service, call cards, and internet use. You should also consider the transportation expenses such as fare for public transportation. The reproduction, printing, and binding costs should also be specified, like photocopying services. In addition, food expenses like meals and snacks and other expenses related to research dissemination such as tarpaulin stand, and handouts containing summary of action research. In drafting plans for dissemination and utilization, take into consideration the following ideas. First, this portion of the action research proposal should provide a detailed picture of how you are going to publicly share the findings of your study. Second, clearly indicate how the outputs and recommendations can or will be utilized to solve similar problems in the classroom or improve learning and instruction. For your references, please remember that the recommended format for citing references is the one stipulated by the American Psychological Association, APA. Certainly, your draft will need polishing, but at least you have seen that it is not really that difficult to do. Do you agree? Let this video end with the quote of this quote from Albert St. Giorgi. Research is to see what everybody else has seen. And to think what nobody else has thought.